Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of The Grave, the podcast where I talk to friends, family, and even strangers about their paranormal experiences. Today is part 2 of Rick's stories. A brief recap: Rick is a paranormal investigator and tour guide for Block Island Ghost Tours, and just an all-around good guy. Today he tells one story about an entity known as the Longneck Man that literally sent chills down my spine. He also gets into some of his own personal paranormal experiences, which are very compelling. Before we get into the episode, just a little housekeeping. There will be no episode next Friday, given that it's Thanksgiving, and we will be back with a brand new episode the following Friday, December 6th. And with that said, let's jump into part 2 of Rick's stories.
Well, probably the most haunted place out here, it's a place called Beck Farm. It goes by another name right now, but it's very Googleable. The new owners are trying to lose their, haunted reputation.
Not for business.
However, there's a new ghost tour in town.
Right, yeah.
And back in the day when the ground was too frozen to dig, when people died, they put them in the death room in this house. It was an uninsulated room. That way they could keep them there until they were able to dig.
Right.
And basically something happens there every day. From footsteps to rearranging furniture. There's a pair of red eyes that lead up to what used to be the death room.
That's right.
Now it's like a stairway. They actually blocked it off because it was getting so weird. So it's pretty neat. And it's a big, beautiful house. People rent it all the time. We're trying to get our hands on some of the old, sign-in books.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've been told that those actually read like ghost stories themselves, because there's just so many different things that happen there.
Oh, cool. That would be, to get like the kind of older stories from folks who stayed there.
Oh yeah.
I mean, cool.
Yeah.
I hope you get your hands on them.
Yeah, me too.
That would be an interesting read for sure.
We could talk about, where the bagel shop is and the bank, newspaper.
I know where the bank is.
Four Corners. There's a pretty physical poltergeist that lives up in one of the apartments on the second floor. It's one of our only year-round spots that for year-round housing that will stay vacant for a while. And when people move in there, they don't tend to last. I'm actually friends with the woman who's living there now, so we've been going in a couple times.
Oh, cool.
And when we first went in for the first time over the winter, she's like, things have calmed down now. So me and my friend Roxanne, who's a medium, and a couple other friends went, and our spirit box was going crazy.
Yeah.
So we're like, all right, that was awesome. A couple days later, the woman who's there by herself now starts seeing shadow people all over the place.
Yes. Love that.
She takes some sage, of course, sets off the fire alarm. So the fire department had to come. She didn't tell them why she was burning sage.
Right.
And then we got a call a few days later. I got a text saying she was about to go to bed, and she heard plain as day someone say, "Get out." So she ended up sleeping on the couch.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So they mean business over there, whoever it is.
Yeah. Yeah. And Fran mentions it in one of her shorter stories. And the original girl who things started happening to, the locks would change in the doors. They would actually flip themselves around, and she got pushed by something. And if you know this girl, I'm not going to say her name, but she's just a no business, all business type of girl.
Right.
She went out that night and never went back in. She had friends get her stuff out of there.
Oh wow, that was it.
That was it. Yeah.
Well, I guess if an invisible force is laying hands on you, it's probably for the best.
Yeah.
All right. Wow. God. Yeah. Like I said, I have heard stories about Block, but like, it's great to have this like insider point of view. Let's touch on this Longneck Man situation that you mentioned.
Okay. Clayhead Trails, for those who don't know the Clayhead Trails, it's the locals around here refer to it as the maze. Beautiful hiking trails, and it's about 12 miles of trails. in about 20 acres, but it's all interwoven, so it's real easy to get lost. That's why they call it the maze.
Does it intersect at all with Rodman's Hollow?
No.
Okay.
Well, it in a roundabout way. It's if you were going down the neck past Mansion Beach.
Yep.
Heading towards the North Light.
Yep.
It's one of those rights right off there.
Okay.
So you'll see a little thing will say Clayhead, and the property that you actually park in front is called the Willis property. And there was a gentleman in the mid '60s was staying at the Willis property. Was not having a great time. Decided he was going to take his life. Went into the maze, hung himself. Nobody found him till the spring, and his neck had stretched till his feet hit the ground.
Wow.
Now, only at night. I've only heard of anything happen at night. Like kids will go down there, drink some beers, maybe hang out with their boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yeah.
But they see what they call the long neck man in there. That's the one I don't want to see.
Oh God, yeah, that is terrifying.
Yeah, no, it is.
Is it like a full bodied like apparition or more of like a shadow?
Full body apparition.
Wow.
Stretched neck and everything.
Oh, that's nuts.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be something I would not want to see, but at the same time would be very cool.
Like this, yeah.
Yeah, you just will peek.
So I think we're either going to do a T-shirt or a poster of him this year. So to add to our collection of good stuff.
Is it? Yeah, I would buy one of those. Is that? And this you may not know because it may not be as evident, but is it like something that happens more during the winter, or is it like year round? People have seen him.
I think it's year round, but people are more out there in the summertime.
Okay.
So I think the odds of seeing him, just by numbers, are. He gets seen probably more in the summer because there's more people out there.
Gotcha. Okay, but it's not like a one-off thing. Like people see it's a fairly regular thing to hear of.
Yeah.
Someone. Oh yeah. Seeing him. Oh, awesome. All right. Something I might do next time I'm out on block.
All right. Let me know how that goes.
Hopefully I make it.
Just because I do ghost tours does not mean I'm not a chicken.
Oh, I'm a big baby, so
Okay.
It's interesting, but all right, cool. That's wow. All right. Is there before we get into any more or any of your like personal experiences, are there any like more like you got to hear this stories?
I love the New Sherman House, and I love the history behind the boat rides. Those are probably the big three.
Okay, cool, fair enough. Awesome. Yeah, listen, I got plenty. So, cool. All right, so let's kind of jump to your own, experiences and things that whether it's on block or not, kind of the things that you've just been like, that is too wild to explain, or if you've seen a full-bodied spirit, anything along those lines.
I could start off with a couple spirit box things.
Sure.
One of the stops we make on the tour is the site of a plane crash that actually crashed downtown and burnt down one of the buildings. There was 4 people in the plane died, and it actually hit a car of somebody who was gassing up where our gas station is.
Okay.
So that's the place on the stop on the tour that we used the spirit box, and we've gotten this guy Jeffrey come through probably 7 or 8 different times. That's just with me, not with other tour guides too, because he comes through a lot. But
for everyone.
The first time he ever came through, it was probably like a 3-minute conversation. And the only reason it was like, what's your name? Jeffrey. How are you? Dead. How did you die? The plane. And it went on and on like that.
No, just very like matter of fact.
Question, answer, question, answer. The only reason it stopped was because someone on the toilet, a lady on the toilet looked at me and went, you guys are messing with the devil, and then just started running across the parking lot.
Okay. It's a fair reaction, I guess.
Yeah. And he's got a sense of humor too. A couple days right after that, I had another tour, same spot, and I mentioned what had happened about Jeffrey. And no, I don't mention him until he comes out, because people ask all sorts of Jeffrey questions, and we want to, cast a wide net in case something else comes through, because other stuff do. But these 2 16-year-old girls, thinking they were funny, and one of them goes, Jeffrey, will you marry me? And you know how there's static usually that goes on in the spirit box? Even the static stopped for like a good 2-second pause and he goes, I do.
Good for him.
Yeah. And they didn't think it was funny at that point. Now there's another, the church on Chapel Street, right downtown.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Like right past where like the mopeds are and everything.
Exactly. Right around the corner from the new Sherm House.
Yep.
I don't use the spirit box there because one of our other tour guides used to use it there all the time, and she would get very aggressive, something coming through. So for some reason, I was on my normal tour, and I took out the spirit box where the airplane crash was, and for some reason, it didn't work. I said, that's fine. We'll just go back to the tour spot, and we'll use the spirit box up there because our place is haunted too. So I just happened to see another tour guide in their car driving by, and I said, hey, do you have a spirit box on you? She said yes. So we're already halfway there, and I figured, all right, we'll just try it at the church, see what happens. Yeah. Plus, of course, I told the tour that everyone on Block Island carries a spirit box with them, at all times.
Right. You gotta.
Yeah. So we make it there, and as soon as I turn it on, I say, what's your name? And it goes, you suck. So I'm like, all right. I pass it around. Everyone on the tour gets a turn doing it. It comes back to me. I figure I'm only doing this once. I will, poke the bear, So I said, you said I suck. What would you say if I said you suck? And it goes, you're bloody. So I'm like, okay. It comes back around to me again. I say, listen, I'm very sorry about our miscommunications, being the chicken that I am.
I'd like to apologize.
Yeah. So everyone's like, wow, that was weird. I take the tour back and, I send them on their way, and I sit down, there's tables out front of our spot. I sit down and take everything out of my pockets, put them on the table. And I start to think about how weird that was. As soon as I do that, the spirit box turns on by itself and goes, hello. I quit Ghost Tours that day. I mean,
oh, you did?
I was back, Holly didn't let me quit for very long, but
yeah. Took a break.
Yeah, that was pretty terrifying.
Yeah, especially like it turned on by itself.
Turned on by itself. Hello.
Pretty wild.
And then we do a New Harbor tour, which is new last year. So pre-season, there's 2 tour guides that I'm training to do this tour. And we go out, we knew that we had customers in 10 days. So for that next 10 days, we went out and we did the tour, and we practiced with the spirit box over by in front of the Ore, which is a very active spot.
Really? Just like right in the field there? Or like...
Right in the field there. All sorts of spirit box stuff there.
Wow.
Which is great, So the customers come. I say, all right, listen, you guys got it. You know the tour, just go give it. And they would go to that spot in front of the Ore, and for the first 3 days, they would turn on the spirit box, and it would ask, "Where's Rick?"
What?
Which is pretty neat.
It's like, just bring Rick here now, please.
Yeah, I don't know if I like him. Know him. Call me by first name.
Yeah,
but,
right. Yeah, it's first name basis.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, man.
I used to live in Colorado, and I used to meditate a lot. And I'm sitting there, and do you meditate?
I have. I don't do it regularly.
I
tried.
was there, and for some reason, a friend of mine who had passed away was in my head, and we were having a back and forth, in my head. And I got out of it, and I thought to myself, I was like, "Well, that felt real." I had a candle burning in the room, and I said his name, and I said, "If that was real, make that candle go out." And the candle just went.
Oh, nice.
I was alone. I turned on all the lights. I yelled at my friend for doing that to me.
But I mean, really cool.
It was unbelievable. That's as much as that's my favorite ghost story, because it was
very personal.
Very personal. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. That's real cool. I'm
trying to think of other stuff that's happened to me personally. And I know there is. I'm just blanking because we're talking about it.
Yeah, no. I mean, listen. We have close to 40 minutes right now, so you anything after this is bonus. We've definitely got plenty. If you happen to think of anything in the next 5 minutes, let me know. But I did have a quick question. As someone who, I'm not a paranormal investigator myself, I love the paranormal. I talk a lot about it. Very interested and want to know more. It's pretty much why I do this podcast. But I have been dying to, like, for the past probably like 5 years of my life, I've been like, I need to get out on block in the winter for like a week and just like spend a week in like one of like either like split it up between two locations or something like that. But I I need to do it. Would you say that block is, well, I'm assuming it's easier to investigate in the winter because there's no one there, but is it more active in the winter, or do you notice a difference at all between summer and winter?
I think it goes on all year round.
So it doesn't matter. You can pop out in whenever.
Yeah. I mean, it happens year round. You know, this place is so active. If you want, I will give you that name off once we get off recording, of that place that you can rent. If you really want to go, I'm sure it's in the winter times. It's a lot cheaper in the summer. In the summer, it's really expensive because it sleeps like 20 people.
Oh, okay.
But I think they do rent it year round. And you could have a blast. I guarantee if you stay there for a week, you'll hear RC stuff.
I'll bring a paranormal posse and we'll just hunker down.
Oh, what am I talking about? Yeah, Club Soda. Do you know Club Soda?
Oh yeah. Oh, I've been to Club Soda.
That's my bar.
Oh, awesome. All right, cool.
I had the three big experiences that I've had on the island that happened there.
Lay it on me.
Yeah. The ring game. Do you know the ring game? The ring on the string?
Yep. You gotta hook it on.
So there's a section of the bar that if you're standing behind the bar, you can't see the ring game. And I was in there doing a liquor order around 11 o'clock in the morning. And I hear the ring. Ting, hit the hook. I come around the corner thinking it's my business partner's son. It wasn't. I came around the corner. There was nobody there. The ring was swinging.
Oh.
So I walked out the front door, locked it behind me, came back about 5 minutes before we were supposed to open for the day. Missed my liquor order.
Priorities,
Yeah. And our kitchen is on the second floor. I go through that kitchen 100 times a day. Lights off, lights on. When it's lights off, it's pitch black. Okay. It was the middle of winter, about probably 8-9 years ago. And I'm walking through the kitchen, and then it sounds like somebody starts running from the other side of the kitchen, a big dude, and then stops about 2 inches from my nose. I went, the only time I've ever made that noise in my life. Reached out, nobody was there. Turned on the lights, nobody was there. Walked down the stairs, walked out the front door, left my friends who I were with at the bar, walked home. I had had enough for the night. That's it.
You could feel like it was like a big presence, like
it sounded like a freight train.
Oh,
it sounded like a big dude was running at you like football style, and it just stopped.
Interesting. So, and obviously, if you have any more stories that hit you, but one of my big things right now is deciphering between something that's a ghost and something that's possibly demonic. I'm not sure if you prescribe to demons and that whole belief system, but do you think, if you do or you don't believe, that there are some darker aspects to block that maybe yeah
I have a friend who is a real estate person out here, and handles a lot of rentals for some of these places. And there's this one building, I won't say it on because I don't want it to get a bad rep.
Yeah.
But the one building, and it had multiple apartments in it. She gets a call around midnight from the person that she's renting to and demanding her to come over. She said, I can't come over right now, but we can meet up first thing in the morning. The lady begrudgingly said fine. When she showed up that next morning, the woman hadn't slept, and she had a recording of a priest giving an exorcism in the apartment next door.
Really?
Yeah, pretty. It was one of the J1 students out here apparently was demonically possessed by something.
Interesting. Wow.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, because I only bring it up because in some of the stories that I read in Fran's book, and also you mentioning that one place with the red eyes, and now you're saying there's like this immense force coming at you, just seems to me to be a little more of a darker entity than just like your normal ghost.
Well, definitely the Beck Farm, and definitely the New Sherham house. I mean, the thing ran over a dog, basically.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean,
there's a lot of different things. You know, there's the little girl ghost there, but there's definitely more than one thing hanging out there. So yeah, I think it's just like Block Island a little bit. You know, you got your good, you got your bad, and you know.
Yeah, it's also kind of a funny contradiction of like the place is packed in the summer, but it's also packed in the winter, just not with the living. You know.
Yeah. And if you go back in time, it's, you know, the summertime's beautiful, but wintertime can be rough out here. You know, you're isolated one.
Yep.
Surrounded by the water, and then it blows 30 miles per hour. You know what I mean? With being 10 degrees or whatever it is,
right,
that particular winter. So it can get pretty rough out here. You know.
Yeah. Both like on your physical body, but probably mentally too. It can be
sure isolation.
Taxing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right,
we call it going to America, you know, in the wintertime. Yeah. You got to go to America to keep your head straight.
Yeah. Take a break. And that is going to do it for Rick's time here on The Grave. Again, this was a different kind of episode as we focused more on the lore of the island, but we also got some of his more personal experiences and takes, so I found it to be a nice mix of both. I liked it so much, I think we will try and do one more of this type of episode where we get more of the lore or stories about a certain location. So that will hopefully happen in later episodes. So a big thanks to Rick for coming on, and if you are ever out on Block, you should definitely check out Block Island Ghost Tours. Just to reiterate, there will be no episode next Friday on account of the holiday, and we will be back the following week where I talk to my TikTok buddy Jacob, aka Mr. Bones, and his experiences at a haunted gas station. So stay tuned for that. As always, guys, thanks for listening, and I hope to have you all back for some more scary stories.